Okay guys, welcome back. Last episode we made some good progress. Finished the back here and got the wheels and that sort of thing done. So what I'm working on at the minute is I want to try and get this floor done. So I went and got some 20 by 20 mil tube and I'm just starting to frame out these chassis rails, and I sort of had to be, I put these supports here as well to join in, so that's what's going to help create the firewall. I had to sort of jack it up and make sure it was all nice and square before getting that all tacked away, but that's pretty good now. I've also got this pipe here that I got for the trans tunnel, so that's going to go here somewhere. It's slightly smaller than this, so I might see if I can split that tube and squash it or spread it a little bit, or maybe just weld a piece, like a strap right down through the middle of it. So we'll see how we go with that. So yeah, for now I want to just finish maybe a little bit more of this stuff, and then I'm going to start cutting out some aluminium and look at sheeting this floor and get a start on the firewall. So that'll be cool if I get that done. I've just got it up off the ground at the minute. Oops, excuse me. Got it up off the ground at the minute. So it's really good and flat all the way under there, except for this little piece here hanging down, and I've just got to trim that off flush. So that'll happen once I roll the chassis upside down and it's all sort of tied together. So there's where we're at the minute. You can see there from this front splitter, it's pretty much flat all the way through there. So it should be, yeah, it should be really good. So we're gonna get a few more bits of this 20 by 20 cut tacked in there, then start cutting the alloy sheet. I've just been doing a bit of arts and crafts with the paper and the sticky tape and scissors and stuff. So that's the idea of how the alloy sheet's going to look there. Hang on, I'll just bit up. Alright, so that's how that sits in there. And I just flipped it over and put it on the other side. It's actually really, really close, like a couple of mil. So I'll cut this one out first, get it perfectly to fit here, and then I'll put it in the other side, see where it needs a bit extra or a bit less or something, just to make it fit right, and then trace it onto the other bit. But so this will be the 2 mil sheet. I'm cutting this one out of, just to make it pretty solid. So 2 mil here, 2 mil here, and probably over the tunnel as well, but that's going to be a bit trickier to get right. I'll have to use some stiff cardboard or something for that one, I think, just to get it sort of, you know, get that shape right. I want it to look nice and smooth and good. So I've got just it's not a dilemma, but it's just a bit of a pain in the butt. So when I lay this out on that sheet sideways, it is just that much too long. But I'm thinking I might just leave this bit off it for the minute, because if I can have one big neat piece that comes all the way back to, I'll just have to measure if it catches that or not. If it catches onto there, then we're good, because the seats are going to be here and covering this anyway, and I'm going to have to be paneling up around here. So if I have to make another little patch panel that just goes on top of there, then I'm happy with that behind the seats, because it's just going to use like a lot less of the sheet, just to optimise it a lot more. So I'll just grab the tape, measure if 1200 will reach to that bar. If it does, then I'll just leave that back bit off, cut that out of a off-cut. Check it out. So, like I said, it's just got that little gap at the back, and I'll make some little pieces to fill that on this side as well. So there we go. 2 sort of floor panels done. Still not exactly sure how I'm going to do this tunnel. I might just slide the tube in there, a bit of pipe in there, and see how it looks. kind of like that. You can see how it needs to be widened, maybe 40 mil. And then if I could get some angle that goes here and up onto there, it might be the go. So I'll cut, split it, add 40 mil to the width, and then add a tail shaft loop underneath, leave it mostly cut out underneath, and then weld some bits of 50 mil angle onto that, which got over there. And that'll do for the tunnel. It should match up to there pretty well. So we'll give that a go. Alright, so I've been flat out on the grinder, and here's where we're at. So I've got this, it's about 5 mil thick plate, that was that pipe. I was originally going to just put a bit of flat in between, but so I welded a bit of angle there. Same on that side. And then this bit's actually going to go along the top here like this. Centered there and get welded all the way along. Just gives me a little bit more clearance for the uni in there. And I can weld it sort of front and back, make it nice and strong. And that whole piece will be able to be removed. Then this will get done along there. The trans tunnel folded neatly. I looked and it can go in a straight line from there to there. So that's cool. So I'm going to get a couple of tacks in that. And yeah, just see how that looks. But pretty happy with that for now. I'll just try and flap dist it just to get a really nice neat weld along there. So see how I go. Looking pretty good. Nice and solid. Should protect me, especially when you're sitting so close to the tail shaft. You just want, all the steel you can get around here. And of course I'll add a loop to the bottom as well, about 6 inches past the uni, just to hold the tail shaft in there if it falls apart. So yeah, we're nearly getting a floor in a tunnel. It's looking good. Alright, so yesterday I got the tunnel sort of mocked up. As you saw, a few tacks in there. I'm going to get started on the firewall now, get that cut around, and then the tunnel itself. So I need some cardboard to do that. I'm an idiot. I was thinking I have to go and buy a big sheet of cardboard or something, and completely forgot about the fact that when I bought 2 sheets of aluminium, there was a big sheet of cardboard in between it. So that's a giant 2400 by 1200 sheet of cardboard. So I'll roughly cut that just slightly larger than I need it for now, and we'll just take off bit by bit until it fits. Yeah, that's out of the 2 mil sheet. I'm going to try and do that, and then I'll mock up. I'll try and do a really nice curve over the transmission, and then just see how I go at figuring out a way to bend that. It's going to be 2 mil, so it'll be a little bit tricky to fold, but I just want to try and spend my time and get that looking nice and get it to meet up to the trans tunnel. Really neat. So yeah, it's the next step. Mark this out. It's about 1100 wide by 550 high to start, and then we'll go from there. Now the tricky bit is here, I'm going to have to cut it around the steering shaft. I'm going to try and do it so that I can just drill like a hole saw through there, right in the exact spot, so that'll I'll be able to pull apart the steering shaft and hopefully slide it through. So that's the plan, otherwise we might have to make a little patch piece or something, but I'll obviously have to cut this initially, then sort of sticky tape back together to figure out the exact spot to put it, but just a bit of a guessing game at the minute. See how we go. This is the tricky bit. Alright guys, so I'm doing a bit of the night shift. I've just been mucking around with this cardboard template here. So I had to split it into two to be able to get it to work. There's another bit here somewhere. Shit, where'd she go? Too many beers, can't find it. Oh, there it is, up on top there. So, I'll lay this out. I've done a few lines for sort of reference. This piece goes like that. So that's pretty much the shape I've ended up with at the minute. Just going to go and sort of test fit it again, but that's what I'm going to trace onto the sheet metal. And it's a bit late now to be cutting it out, it's too noisy, but I'll get that cut out. Well, I'm actually working the next 2 days, 8 to 6, so it'll be Monday. And then, yeah, hopefully get that firewall in. It's just a little bit tricky. I'll grab this light. So it's just been a little bit tricky around this steering bit here. But you can see there where it's sort of going to fit around all of that. I'll try and get it done in one piece. I may not be able to, though. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I'm hoping that the brake. I'm hoping that the brake pellet should be enough for it to. Still quite a bit of stroke before it'll actually hit on there. Yeah, so I'll get that in, and then I can start working on the trans tunnel itself. But for now, that's where we're at. Oh. Dodgy operation getting run here. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at for now. Alright guys, so I'm still working on the floor here. Next, the tunnel's sitting sort of just there. Roughly what it's going to look like. And I want the tunnel to fit flat along this bit here, and as it was, this is my little cross member that I mocked up. Like that. As it was sitting like on top like that. So I want it to sit flush, so it's going to be down like that. That way this tunnel can go flush all the way along the top. So I've cut a section out of there. I'm going to drop it down, weld it back on, but I'm going to use these bits. They will get welded back like that. You can see that there, yep. And a hole through there and a nut welded on the back of it. And to keep it flush at the top, I've got some of these that will go in there. So I've just got to drill and countersink them till they go flat. And we should be good, so I'll just run across to the little drill press in a minute. There we go. Oh, that focus. Beautiful. Nice and flush. So I'll sit this on there and work out where this hole's going to go. Alright, so here's where I'm at. I don't know if you can see in there, I've got a bit of steel underneath which has got the nut welded into the back of it. I've left these corners free, so I'll tack these corners in, get that in the right spot. So that's flush there now. Same on that side. So I'll tack that underneath piece in, that way I can unbolt this and then sort of weld that all properly and clean it all up, and yeah, it should be nice. That means I can finish that tunnel off. So, holy shit, this is taking some work, but we'll get there. Alright, so I've just, there's a bit of blood. I've just marked underneath all of here with the texture, so I'll rip that out and then trim that off, and then the tunnel will be getting close to being done. Alright, so there we go. Through a bit of trim it. Looking good. Okay, a bit more arts and crafts today. Just trying to get these seats done, so I've marked out all the side pieces there. So that's the side piece there, which I marked out. Got my boy Benny here today. Helped me bend these seat sides. I had to go with my little bender. And that's as much as I could get out of it, because it wasn't moulded down or anything, so we're using his big arse to hold it down. And I'm going to smack him with a hammer. There you go.
Smack it a hammer.
Magnificent. Oh. It's precision, mate. Work, mate.
Isn't this the same way they bent the fucking sheet metal for the Apollo 11?
Which one was the one that crashed? That's right. 13, was it? Oh, yeah. I did a bit of casual work.
Ooh. Fucking edge of a rocket ship,
A
mate.
little seat side.
Oh, okay. Ready?
Cut!
Yeah.
Alright, Mr. Safety here has decided I need some gloves so I can have pretty little hands like his. Anyway, keep him happy. Alright, he's strapped in. What do you reckon? You can't even see the seat underneath you.
It's good.
Yeah, well, it's as good as it can be.
It's better than what I was expecting. It looks pretty freaking awesome.
So that's a rough little mock-up of our seat. We left it sort of parallel at the bottom and then just splayed it out a little bit that way, just to give a little bit more shoulder room on the inside. We'll do the opposite on the driver's side one. But yeah, a little bit of padding and some trim around the edges and it'll be sweet. That's what we got anyway.
Don't need any padding.
Yeah, I may look at trimming that top corner. Just there.
Yep.
It sort of hits on the cage because you don't need it. I'll be resting against the cage anyway.
What a sick.
Good. All just fitting. Just.
You're gonna be tired.
Yeah.
Look good once it's done, dude.
Yeah, it's getting there. Started making a whiteboard list of everything I need to do.
Yeah.
It's a bit daunting. I've done a little bit of it. And I'll sort of get a bit more done and show you that. Then I can start hopefully ticking some stuff off, but it's just a little bit scary how much there's still actually to do. Lots of things are mocked up and about sort of 10% done. Anyway,
Yeah.
Every bit of progress is progress. So guys, I just want to apologise for being a bit slack with the uploads. I've just been, I had lots of stuff on at the minute and just kind of struggling with motivation. It's just heaps and heaps and heaps of little things to do without much sort of reward for it happening. And just this whole body lifting up thing it's kind of just making everything hard with how to like run through my head how to seal the cab off from everything else. Like I'll make it happen, but it's just tricky. So yeah, I've had quite a few parts and stuff arrive. So there is sort of a heap of progress. Got all the engine parts almost now, I think. So it'll all start to happen, but it's just been a long road. I'm basically building this whole car from scratch. So anyway, I've got to have it done probably at least a month before Summernet. So by the start of December, I want it done and running, and then I can sort of iron out some bugs. But thanks for sort of sticking by me. I'm sorry there's no exciting stuff happening. It's just piece after piece that I've got to just keep building. But I'll just keep documenting it until finally this thing's done. We can start to get some videos of it driving and, doing some skits and having some fun. But anyway, like I just said, progress is progress.